Yo, what up? It's your boy Chad back with another video. Back on Angel Time. I want to first ask if you guys can hit the like button on the way into the video. Doesn't cost you a thing, but it means everything to me. And if you guys are liking the content, subscribe to the tribe. Alright, so let's get it. If you guys didn't get the title of the video, I named it How to Stop Thinking About Sex When You Are on Semen Retention. How to stop thinking about sex when you are on semen retention. And the best way you can stop thinking about sex when you're on semen retention as a man is to just cut it off. Like, that is the best reason I could give you if you want to stop thinking about sex while you're on semen retention. But in all honesty, like, there's no way as a man you're gonna stop thinking about sex on semen retention. But there are things that you can do to temporarily stop thinking about sex, and these are things that I do myself. So that's why I want to share with you guys, and it helped me, and hopefully it helps out you guys. So without further ado, let's get it. Let's go. And first is to identify your triggers. And I know I sound like a broken record when I keep saying this, but you guys don't understand how pivotal identifying your triggers are. Because I remember the last time I fapped, and I was watching a movie. It was maybe a TV show or a movie, and it was a sexually explicit scene, and that's what made me want to fap. And I remember after I finished fapping, like, I said to myself, like, why did I even do that? Like, I didn't even have to do that, but to the point, man, you got to identify what triggers you to make you want to do these type of things. I had to cut off watching movies. I had to cut off watching TV. I had to delete some of the people out of my phone. Like, I had to stop hitting up old girl I used to mess with. Like, I had to stop hitting up Monica with the big booty or Keisha the throat goat. Like, I had to stop hitting up these people. And again, man, it's just all about identifying your triggers, man. What triggers you to make you want to do these things? And once you do that, like, it's gonna, like, diminish. Like, again, it's like you as a man, you're gonna always have these thoughts, but at least if they're diminished and you're not acting on these thoughts, like, that is also a win. But always gotta identify your triggers, man. What triggers you to want to do that? And again, man, like, especially social media, man. Social media is a big trigger. Like, all this booty shaking, all this twerk videos. Like, you see some women like dress nothing left to imagination, like no bra on, and like you see the areolas and stuff through the pictures and all that type of stuff. Like, you gotta delete that also. And I know some of you guys may not be able to delete your social media. Like, some of you guys may your social media may be a source of income, but what you can do, like, when some of these pictures come up, like when the booty shaking videos and the pictures with a woman that dress half naked, like, you can dislike the picture, you can report the picture, and what this does is changes your algorithm, so those pictures won't start to come up and those videos won't start to come up as much as they used to. And again, man, if you change your algorithm, that stuff is not going to come up as much. And of course, Satan being Satan, like, he's going to make sure some slip through every once in a while. But again, man, at least you're not bombarded with those images like you would have been if you're not done that. So definitely got to identify what triggers you to make you want to fat, man. And when you do identify these triggers, man, cut those triggers off, man. Cut those triggers off. And that would definitely make you stop thinking about sex when you're in semen retention, man. So that was definitely first right there, man. Identifying your triggers. And next is grow a hatred for it. And this is something that I do mentally, and that is every time I start to get these thoughts and these desires, like, I just get mad at myself for even thinking this way. Like, I get mad at the fact that sex, like something as little as sex, like, have so much power over me. Like, I get mad at the fact that I'm not in control over my sexual desires. Like, I get mad at the fact that I want to release. Like, you just got to start getting mad at everything. Like, get mad when you see these women dressed half naked on the internet. Like, get mad at these simps and these weak men that are not in control over their sexual desires when they're in some of these women's comment section, giving them hard eyes and telling them what they want to do with them and all that type of stuff. Like, get mad when you start to see these type of things. And when you start to get angry at these type of things, like when you start to get angry at the fact that you're not in control over your thoughts, and like lust has so much power over you, like, you just start to lose your desire to want to do this. And like, this can be hard at times, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, and more often than not I do succumb to my thoughts. But when you get mad at something, like, and you really have a deep down hatred for something, like, you're not gonna want to do that thing. And this is something that I do all the time, man. Like, stop thinking about it, man. Just get mad at the fact that, again, man, like, this just has, like, it's something as little as you releasing just has so much power over you. And get mad at everything, man. Again, at these simps, at these beta males that are not in control of their desires. Like, get mad when you see these women come outside half naked And that's all the power that they have at the end of the day, man. It's all like a seductive thing. So get mad when you start to see these things. Like, and like I said, like when you grow that hatred for it, like you're not going to even, like that'll make you stop thinking about anything. When you start to hate something, that'll make you stop thinking about anything. So that is also something you can do on this journey to stop thinking about having sex. Grow a hatred for it. And next is to create hobbies. And I'm actually going to make a detailed video tomorrow for you guys on hobbies you guys should be doing when you're on semen retention, so you guys can look out for that video. But yeah, man, you don't ever want to be bored on this journey, man. Like, as you guys know, they say idle mind is the devil's playground. So every time you're bored, man, and you're not doing anything, like that's going to make you want to have sex, or that's going to make you want to fap. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like the last time I fapped, like I was watching the video and I was bored, and that's what made me want to do it. So you don't ever want to be bored on this journey, man. Like you will never want to be stagnant or just be not doing anything. Like you always want to be doing something, man, like some type of activity, man, like something to keep your mind away from you wanting to fap or fornicate or do anything like that. So man, you got to always be want to do something, man. Be active, man. Like it says, it's hard to hit a moving target. So like that target is not going to be able to hit you if you're always doing something and active and, you know, just out and about. So that's also something you could do, man. Create hobbies for yourself, man. Like you don't ever want to be, again, man, just stagnated and then just like not doing nothing with yourself, man. That's when a lot of relapses come. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can vouch for this, man. Like it's when you wasn't doing anything is when you got those thoughts, man. But to the point, man, when you're busy, you have a lot going on, like you're not going to even be thinking about sex, man. You have your priorities doing other things, like you're on your purpose, you could be working out, like you could be doing a lot of things. So that is also a way to stop thinking about sex when you're on semen retention. Create hobbies. And next is to change your diet. And as you guys know, when you're on semen retention, man, like you may be abstaining for one thing, but you're gonna want pleasure in other areas in your life. And one of the biggest pleasures for everybody is food. And some of these foods, like these highly processed foods, like these foods with a lot of trans fat, a lot of sugar, a lot of sodium, is gonna hype up your dopamine. And when your dopamine levels are high, you're gonna just want pleasure in other areas in your life also. And this is also something that I deal with. Like every time I eat like foods like McDonald's and all those high processed foods and all that type of stuff, like that makes me horny and want to fap and all that type of stuff. And it also makes me have wet dreams also. And I actually pointed it out in a video that I made before. Like every time I find myself not eating healthy for the day, like those are one of the triggers that trigger these wet dreams that I be having. So you always want to watch what you eating, man. Like the way dopamine works in the body, like once you get that one hit of dopamine, like you're just gonna want dopamine in all areas, and that's what's gonna trigger you to make you want to have sex. And not to mention the smoking, which you guys not supposed to be doing. Like you got to cut out the weed also, and also like the liquor. Like it was times like I don't drink myself, but there were a lot of times like people would say like they was off the Henny, and that's what made them want to have sex and all that type of stuff, or they was off the, well, I don't know what you guys drink, like they was off the Henny, they was off the Bacardi and all that type of stuff, and that's what made them give into their sexual desire. So you definitely got to make sure you watch what you're putting in your body, man. Like again, like that one little hit of dopamine will make you want to relapse in this journey. So definitely got to change your diet if you want to stop thinking about sex when you're on semen retention. And lastly is doing the will of God. And of course, man, when you're doing the will of God, that's the last thing that's on your mind, is having sex and releasing and masturbating and all that type of stuff. Like that is the last thing that's on your mind, like when you're doing the will of God. And again, man, like every time I'm praying or I'm reading my Bible, or when I'm fasting, like especially when I'm fasting, like when I'm fasting, the only thing I want to do is eat. Like, so I'm not worried about releasing or having sex when I'm fasting. Like that is the last thing that's on my mind. And like again, man, like when you're doing the will of God and you're winning over souls for the kingdom, man, like, oh, you just want to be as pure as you can, and you're not thinking about any of this type of stuff when you're doing the will of God. Like, and as you guys know, like Jesus himself was on semen retention. Yes, Jesus himself was on semen retention, and he started his ministry when he was 12 years old. So that's when normal men started puberty, when they're 12 years old. So, and he was always about his father's business. So again, man, like when you're doing the will of God, like and you're about your father's business, that's the last thing that's on your mind, man. Releasing and having sex and all that type of stuff. And of course, like being in the word and knowing the consequences of when you do give into these urges, like when you're doing the will of God, like none of that stuff is going to be on your mind. Like none of that perversion, sexual perversion, like giving into your sexual desires. Like when you're doing the will of God, like even me making this video right now, like you think I'm thinking about having sex right now? No, I'm thinking about doing the will of God, like winning over souls for the kingdom and bringing people back to the marriage. So doing the will of God is always going to be a way to get your mind off sex. So I want to do a quick summary of how to stop thinking about sex when you're on semen retention. And first is to identify your triggers. Second is to grow a hatred for it. Third is to create hobbies. Fourth is to change your diet. And last is to do the will of God. So that wraps up the video right there, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video out to everybody. First, glory to the Most High. Continue on angel time.